Okay, so in this video, we are going to discuss about cause and effect diagram, or it is called fishbone diagram or Ishikawa diagram. So this is one of the 7 QC tools. QC means quality control. So actually there are 14 tools, old tools. What we are discussing, they are old tools. Now new management tools are also available, which we will see in the later stage. So these 7 QC tools, that is quality control tools, are very popular, and they are widely used for improvement of quality. So what are the, just briefly we will see what are the 7 QC tools. So first is the Pareto diagram, so which is based on economy. Actually what they say is most of the problems, for example, 80% of the problems are done due to 20% of the causes. So that basically this Pareto diagram was found from wealth actually. So throughout the world, you might be knowing around 1% of the world population, they are controlling 50% of the wealth. And even in India also, what we one statistic says that around 10% of the people, they control 80% of the wealth. That means the remaining 90% they are very poor, very poor. So the same way, what Pareto did is, when it comes to quality, when we are identifying the various causes, only 80% of the causes are minor causes. So only 20% causes, if you are making improvement, you are likely to make a signal. That is called 80-20 principle. So 80% of the activity will be contributing for the 20% of the improvement, 20% of the improvement. So that's called 80-20 principle that we will discuss. And then there is second principle is process flow diagram. Third, the cause and effect diagram, which we are going to see in this video. And then check sheets, histogram, which is a statistical tool, and then run charts, and then finally scatter diagram. And of course, additional scatter tool we will see in the later stages. ANOVA, regression analysis, hypothesis. These are all very widely used for quality improvement. But of course, this control chart we will be discussing. We have in the thing. Of course, their control chart they have not given. Control chart also we are going to discuss. So now moving on to the cause and effect diagram. So this is cause and effect diagram. So it is a picture composed of lines and symbols designed to represent a meaningful relationship between an effect and its potential causes. And the potential causes which have evidence are not all possible causes that come up in the brainstorming exercise. And it was developed by Ishikawa. So this is a Japanese scientist. So he has developed this fishbone diagram or cause and effect diagram. And it was found in the year 1968, and it is sometimes referred as Ishikawa diagram or fishbone diagram. So why it is called fishbone diagram? So here you see, so these are all the diagram, all these things, the arrow marks, they look like bones of a fish. So that's why it's called fishbone diagram. Then it is called Ishikawa diagram. The reason being the person who has developed this QC technique is called Ishikawa, a Japanese scientist. And then the other one is the cause and effect diagram. So cause and effect is a picture. So you will have some lines, symbols, and other things. And what we are trying to find out is, for an effect, for a bad effect, we should find what are the potential causes. So in this, I'm going to give some 2 or 3 examples. For bad tea, what are the causes? What are the potential causes? And then for bad surface finish, poor surface finish, so which in the machining process, last semester, I think you might have studied, what are the causes for poor surface finish? Whenever you have a workpiece, for example, lathe or milling machine, you want good surface finish. So if the surface finish is bad, so that is a bad effect. Always effect means when you want to go for quality improvement, it has to be a bad effect. So for bad effect, it will be on the right side of the diagram. On the left side, you will have the potential causes. So that is called cause and effect diagram. So this is used to investigate a bad effect. So not necessarily. Sometimes even you can study a good effect and we can find out what are the causes which you can use to improve the quality also. But in general, no, this when we are using from management point of view, this cause and effect diagram is basically bad effect. You considered some bad effect. So we are going to show some 3 or 4 examples where the effect will be a bad thing, and to take action, what are the potential causes, and then you should rectify the potential causes. Or otherwise, we can have a good effect and we can find out what are the causes that are present for the effect. So now all the effect will come on the right side. So in the 3 examples I'm going to show, one is paint peeling. So the paint is going to come out. That is the bad effect. Then the tea is bad. So that whenever I drink, so what are the causes and sub causes? So all the causes and sub causes will come on the left, and the bad effect will come on the circular. Now, when quality point of view, this effect is the quality characteristics. So when you are discussing, mostly dimension will come, or industry different. The effect is going to be the quality characteristics that needs improvement. So we need some quality characteristics which has to be improved. For example, the dimension of the component. So normally the dimension will not be exactly correct. So that is a bad effect. So this way, the quality characteristics. So whatever defective thing, that should be the effective. So this cause and effect diagram can be used to identify what are the potential causes for the bad effect. That is going to be the quality characteristics. And these causes, we have to break them into sub causes. And here there are 5 M's. Method, always these are all major causes. Method, material, when you have a industry, method, material, measurement, man, that is people, machinery, and environment, 5M and 1E. So that is going to be important when you are going to construct the cause and effect diagram. So what are the various uses of cause and effect diagram? So they are used to identify the potential causes, not all the possible causes. That is first one. The second use is analyze the actual conditions for the purpose of product or service quality. So service also, because we are going to see tea, bad tea, what is going to be the, how we are going to improve the quality. They eliminate the conditions which cause non-conformity and customer complaints. So service means and customer complaint should be there, whereas in case of this one, we should have non-conformity. Defect, that means confirm, it is not conforming to. So any product will have a specification. If that specification is not met, then it is a non-conforming thing. So then in other words, it's a defect. Non-conformity means it's a defective product. Then we have statistical experimentation, decision making, and corrective actions. All these things we can do in the cause and effect diagram. Now straight away we will go to the first example, which is the house paint peeling. So this is the quality characteristics. So whatever when this is many times this is a very good combination, but you may not be knowing how to identify the possible causes. So that's what we are going to study in this example. So the effect is, the bad effect is the paint. So whatever paint we are giving to the house, it is peeling off. It is peeling off even after 6 months, 8 months. So what are the, how do you improve them? So that is what this cause and effect diagram. So what is the action we have to take? How do you rectify them? So to rectify them, we need to identify what are the potential causes. There may be hundreds of causes. Some of them are not important. So we have to identify what are the potential causes, and then only you will be able to rectify them. So I told you all these 5M and 1E may not be suitable for all the cases. There are some cases, all of them will not come, all of them. So it is based on convenience. So in this case, people means man, 1M is coming. Second, many times product means material will come, because material always will contribute to the defect. Any defect, material is going to contribute. And then equipment means machinery, different word they are using. So only 3M they are using, and environment. In this case, environment is very important. House paint peeling, and many products, environment will not come into the picture. So whenever you are drawing the cause and effect diagram, so first you remember this 5M and 1E should be there in the mind. So whether and when you examination point of view, all of them will not come into picture. Out of the 6, these are all major causes. These are major 5M and 1E. So what are the 5Ms? Material, man, machine, method, measurement. Many times measurement will not come unless there is whenever surface finish or tolerance, the dimension, only these things measurement will come. There are some cases, of course, measurement also will come. And finally, environment. So these 5 are the main potential causes. Please remember, all bad effects will not have all the 6. So some of them will have 3, 4. We have to identify and then you have to draw the cause and effect diagram. So in this cause and effect diagram, first we take the material. So in this material, you know, paint is the material. So whenever we are going to do the painting for a house, paint is going to be the material. And please, that is very important. Everywhere in life, no, this is important. You know, paint, no, you will have paint and then they will add some solvent, something called solvent they add. You have to mix them. Only a experienced painter knows how to mix them. So even if you ask anyone, if you ask them, we may not be knowing how much quantity of solvent we have to add and how much quantity of paint should be taken. So please remember this. Whenever you are seeing painting, no, anywhere your own house, you are going to paint sometime or other. So at the time, it should not be too thick or it should not be too thin. In both the cases, peeling will come. So that's many times that is very, even I am doing research in surface coating. My PhD, no, I have my PhD work. Basically, it was metal forming. But we are doing some coatings also. So even that coating also, this is the problem. This is the problem. It should not be, coating should not be very thin. But of course, there are some cases coatings will be very thin, microns. Sometimes thicker coatings will be there, 2 mm, 3 mm and other things. So here the paint, no, should not be too thin or too thick. So that's only by experience. So these are the materials. So these are the two problems. The paint should not be thin. The paint, whatever with the solvent we are adding, it should not be very thin. That is also quality. If it is very thin, that is when solvent is more, paint is less. So that is a problem. If it is thick also, peeling off problem will come. And material, paint over dirt. So first, the very important thing is we are in the immediate world, whatever from the wall, we have to improve, we have to remove all the impurities, all whatever dirt, everything should be removed, and then only. And if you are trying to paint over the dirt, it is also a material problem. So, and finally, no instructions. So if you're not getting instructions, of course, this is not very ideal under the materials. So under the materials, these are the problem. The paint should not be applied over dirt. It should not be too thin or it should not be too thick. And when it comes to the painter, sorry, there is a mistake here. I'm very sorry. This is this should be actually. So there is a mistake. Actually, it's not people, not people. This is also should come under the materials method. I think this can come under method. Painter means there are whenever the painter means it's a skillful activity. It's a skillful activity, or otherwise it should be trained. So whenever there is a quality problem, whenever people is involved, or man, whenever people is involved, there are 3 or 4 things. First, the effort you study whether it is a skillful activity. So in this case, the painting is a skillful activity, but of course, training is required. It is basically a skilled one. So you must learn. First time overnight, you will not learn. By experience, he becomes skillful. The painter becomes skillful because he will make mistakes everywhere in life. That is the thing. You make mistakes. If you make a mistake, now you know what is going to happen. And then you learn from the mistakes, and then you are not doing the mistakes, you become skillful. So whenever welder or whenever machinist or operators, whenever then skill is going to be very important. Whenever the skill is going to be very important. And of course, next thing is, so here what will be the major cause is man. This is not there, I'm sorry. In this fishbone diagram, it is not there, but it's very important. So the painter, if it is unskilled, means paint peeling will come down. If the painter is not trained properly, so he should be trained. That is very important. Then only skill will come. It should be trained. Suppose if it is some other, if it is not skillful activity, for example, university teacher, for example, a teacher like me, university faculty like me, skill is not there. Here, of course, we need some communication skills, but the understanding is normally university teachers, they have good communication skills. Their written and oral skills, or it will be reasonably good. Nowadays, what I can use the word reasonably, they will be good. What is very important is their qualification and competency or proficiency. Words are very important. Proficiency, because when it comes to computer, when it comes to software, IT field, they are not using, because they have their own jargons, computer. Everywhere, no, they will have jargons. So they say it is proficiency. Whether your proficiency in the domain, that word, they are using the word domain. Whether Java domain, whether you have proficiency. But what they are doing is whether you are whether you know Java. That's the question. But they use the word proficiency. Or as a teacher, what I can tell is your qualification as well as your competence. You should be very competent when you want to provide a service, painting service, whatever service. No, you should be competent. When you are going to be a teacher, no, you should be competent to teach the subject. Your subject knowledge should come. The content should be good. That is your mastery of the subject should be good, and you should have excellent class controlling skills, basically for school teachers. But of course, VIT class control is not a big issue. Nobody is worried about class control. But when it comes to school, no, the teacher should control the class. Then only learning will take place. Third one is its communication skills are very good. So these are all coming under the case called competent. So if it is teacher, for example, if the effect is a bad teaching, then we have to say incompetence of the teacher. So that we have to be the subcause. Teacher is the major cause, and incompetence of the thing. Of course, we can include communication skills also. So whenever computer IT means, proficiency will come. So these are all about the people. So you have to see, I am telling you, when you are writing for any bad effect, when it comes to man, we should see whether it is skill. First, basically, mostly it will be skill. Training, everywhere training should come. Whatever, training should come. Third is proficiency. Fourth one is competence. Fifth one is qualification. So all these things, based on the effect, any one of them should come. So that is about people. I'm very sorry it's not available here. It's a mistake. It's not people. So this is method. If the paint is cheap, many times no, cheap means bad quality. So that is it. Something quality means it's costly. It's quality costly because here there is a contradiction. I will tell. When you are giving the product in quality, we can give it in good price. But whenever, no, always very cheap. So for example, we know the price of the pen is 10 rupees. But somebody is offering for 3 rupees, the quality will be bad. We might have experienced. For example, if you take now footwear, for example, normal footwear, the price will be around 500 rupees. If somebody is offering for 200 rupees, it will be bad. After 3 months, it will go off. So anything cheap. So that is first thing. We see whether the paint is cheap. Solvents, whether they are good. Contaminant, dirts, whether wrong type, paint you select the wrong type, because based on that is what even coating lab, when I did my research, no, for each material, because we are discussing about materials, aluminum, for aluminum this type of coating will not adhere. So adherence, because I did lot of study, but of course I was not able to do adherence experiment, because that was one of the comments given by some of the research papers. So I was not able to do the adherence testing, but all material, all coating, same way painting, no, every painting. So we have to wrong type if you are choosing also, it is going to be wrong. So this is method. So we have seen material, we have seen man, and then we have seen method. It's not people, this is method. And then equipment. So in case of a painting, the painting brush is the equipment. The bristle, there is something just like a toothbrush, no, there is bristles will be there. The bristles are very bad. That is one of the subcause for paint peeling coming down. Brush is very dirty. So this too, for this effect, the brushes should not be dirty. The bristle should be proper. And finally, environment. In this case, environment is very important. So whenever house peeling, air pollution is a problem. Temperature, not humidity. Many times, no, internet something you take, there are some mistakes, many mistakes, and of course we have to relate and we have to find it is not humanity. So this paint filling has nothing to do with humanity. So it is humidity. You know very well about humidity. You studied refrigeration and refrigeration. Whether you study refrigeration and elective, but you are a mechanical engineer, you know very well about thermal engineering. You would have studied about temperature, humidity, all these things. So humidity, acid rain, temperature, air pollution. So these environmental factors. So these are the subcauses which will contribute to the bad paint peeling. So paint is going to peel when there is a pollution problem. Temperature, low temperature or high temperature. We cannot say exactly. Both the cases, peeling off will take place. Acid rain, whenever acid rains. So these are some of the environment. So this is how you construct a fishbone diagram. Why it is called fishbone diagram? So these are all like fish bones. So these are all major causes. So there are actually 5. Other one I have not included. I have discussed. So there are all these lines. No, they are resemble like fish bones. That's why it is called fishbone diagram or Ishikawa diagram or cause and effect diagram. So the quality characteristic or the defect or the bad effect will come on the right side. All the potential causes first you must write. 5, 4, 5, 6, anything. It can be 3 also. In some cases, it can be 3 also. Because in examination, no, this semester is going to be Code Tantra, so you will not have time. So either 3 or 4 will be fine for me. Because 6 is identifying all the 6, you will not have time. Because even FAT exam, we are giving 20 minutes, and CAT exam, we are giving only 15 to 20 minutes. We are giving, because we have to upload also. So you can 3 to 4 you can find. So and then you have to find out the subcauses. You have to find out the subcauses, and it should be very relevant. Examination when I am giving a painting, because in the first assignment I am going to give ineffective online classes. So you have to you are going to identify some. It's an assignment, so you can identify even 6 or 7 major causes, and each causes you can give 6 or 7 subcauses because it's assignment. So you take your own time. And one more thing, I am going to give Kano model also. So this is the first example which we have discussed. And the second one for the fishbone diagram is a bad T. So the effect is the T is not good. So many times now, if you see the T is not good. So here they have identified. So the spine shape has correct connect points which are evenly distributed. Drag. So this software basically is software. Cause and effect diagram. Many softwares are available, but unfortunately, you please don't get yourself trained in things because Code Tantra will not allow. Because first time, no, this TKM subject when I was teaching, this is the second time even in this online environment, this TKM I'm teaching for the second time. First time when I was teaching, no, unfortunately in the CAT examination, Code Tantra only for FAT exam, Code Tantra came. So what we did is I allowed the students CAT examination because I was conducting the, if you remember, the March 2020, that is winter semester 2021, sorry, 1920. So at the time, no, CAT exam was conducted by the teacher. So at the time, I allowed allowed the students to use the template. So these many templates are available, and I asked them to do. This was very important even in case of House of Quality, so where many templates are available in internet. But of course, FAT examination, because that it became a problem because FAT examination students they were not allowed to use the internet. But some students, what they have taken a what you call, they have taken downloaded the template, and we were flexible. Now the rule is very clear. We should not take any internet material. Everything should be written. Now there is a rule, Code Tantra. Everything should be written. So now you don't get yourself trained, but anyway you can learn from the whatever templates are available in the internet. So for this bad T, there are identify 4 potential causes. One is personal, means man or the T vendor. Process or method, different words they are using. Product means T is the product here. And then physical evidence. So they're using, because there is not necessarily we have to use 5M and 1E. So we can use different words. So this way, at least 4 or 5 potential causes should be introduced. So first, for bad T, you will be very surprised. The personal is very rude. The T per serving person is very rude means the T is bad. It's many times not. It's like that only. The master, the tea is given by, even the person is doing the tea. If, for example, mostly tea vendor, no, he will prepare the tea and he will himself will serve. If he is going to be true, if he is going to be rude, means the tea is going to be bad. No training. Computer, I think there are, I don't know why this computer, this is not a writing. T has nothing to do with computer. Wrong charge. So by mistake, somebody has come and said, so but no training is a problem, because here there is no skill. To making a tea, no, only training is required. Skill is not a skillful activity. So next, when it's process, no, it has to be, again, training is going to go in the process, no. So this, no, I know, because I know very well how to prepare a tea and coffee. Here training is very important. How do you learn to make a tea? It's very simple. It looks very simple. You take tea powder, you take hot water, but how much temperature we have to heat, how do you mix them, how much sugar you have. For example, if you are preparing tea for 3 people, how much sugar you have to add, how many spoons of tea powder you have to take. All these things, no, you have to be trained. But in my case, no, coffee and tea, I know how to prepare. So training, how do you train yourself? So if there is a bad tea, that means training is no. So whenever, please remember, bad effect means you should say no training. So for example, good tea means we should have training should be good. The coffee preparer should be trained well. The tea server should not be rude. Like that you have to say. Too much water, too much. So this process, it is not material actually. This is not material. In the process, no. In the process, when you are adding too much water, so that's what many tea shops in Chennai they are doing, because they want to cut down the cost in this COVID, all these things, no, because they don't have business. One of the worst affected businesses, tea people, and I think there is some improvement. People are taking tea outside. So 1 year back, no, nobody was taking tea. So too much of water, too much of tea. So these are all ideal, optimum. Optimum is best. It should not be maximum or minimum. That same way what we discussed in the paint. It should not be too thin or it should not be too thick. Here also it should not be too much of water should not be there. Same way too much of tea also should not be there. Same way less water should not be there or less tea. But of course less water tea will be good. And brew time too long. So that is also very important. So that is very important. This is all training. That's called training. So when we are preparing tea, how much time we have to heat the water and the tea? How much? So tea, normally we take water, we put the tea, 2 teaspoons or 3 teaspoons, and then we are heating them. No, it should not be too long. It should not be too long. So these are all coming by experience, or we can call it as training. So that is about the process or method. The third one is bad package. So tea is outdated. So that is nowadays expiry date we have to see. Every product now it is becoming a problem. Whatever we are buying expired items, the shops they are not bothered. So whether it is outdated tea means it will be a bad tea. No desiccative. I think this is some ingredient which I am not very particular. Bad package. So all these things, these are all comes under the product category. So physical evidence. So this is okay, tea is okay, but when we are serving them, we can call this as environmental things. The lids do not fit into the cups. So that is very important. Lid and fit, otherwise, inside the teas or something may could. So lid should be properly fitting the cups. The cup should be, if the cup is dirty, then it's a bad tea, it's going to be bad tea. Tea not hot enough, very important. That is very important. 90% of the people, there are few people, they would love to take tea in cold condition. But many times, tea means we want it hot. So the tea, if it is not hot enough, means then it's a bad tea. Warmer not working properly. So that is very important. Whether especially dispenser. So right now, I think our Amul tea, it's what was working actually, but it's working fine. The warmer, sometimes it is not working, means the tea will be in a cold condition. So this is how you draw the cause and effect diagram for a bad tea. Now the next one is an engineering example where the surface finish is very poor. So if you take this, unfortunately, I know this 19 BME students, you this manufacturing process and machining process, you studied in online. I think you studied, you are very fortunate, 19 BME students. You 8 months you stayed in the campus. You had some fun in the VIT campus. But this 20 MCD means MTech CAM 20 batch, they have never visited the campus. They will not visit the campus. They will get their degrees. So you are lucky. At least 8 months, 19 BME students, 8 months you had some fun inside the campus. I don't know when you are going to come. Hope you will maybe at least by June, July, you will come to the campus. At least your 7th semester, you will come to the campus, at least to enjoy the campus. At least this is the VIT, we have a very beautiful campus for the students. At least 7th semester, I hope you all will come. July month, you will come to the campus, and 7th semester, you will study in physical mode. That's what the expectation. And now, when it comes to surface finish, you know very well, they are very important surface finish. Any component, lathe, I think we showed only videos. I think in fact I was not teaching the subject. Manufacturing process, I think I was teaching, but this surface finish will come under machining process. So the accuracy and the surface finish, it is very important. Otherwise, the function will be a problem. The component function will be a problem. So when it comes to personal, man means shift. So always this is one thing, even the control chart I'm going to discuss. Night shift always surface finish will be very poor. Defects will be there, night shift. Whereas morning shift, everything will be fine. Supervisor, there is a problem. Training, operators, mentors, testing. So these are all subcauses. Material, alloys, lubricants, suppliers, and other things. Measurements. So how do you measure? Micrometer, microscope, inspection procedure, all these things. And then environment, moisture content. And then method, erratic, too slow, brake, engager, angle, and other things. Mission means what is the condition of the mission, accuracy, speed, lathe. So all these things, surface finish. And then what is the condition, feed rate. So if you know, if you remember, no, I don't know how many of you learn, because it's not very easy to learn cutting speed, feeding rate, feed rate, and depth of cut. I don't know how many students of the, because I know, because that is what I studied 12 subjects during my MTech. So I know it's not that easy to learn this in online mode. It's not easy to visualize what is depth of cut, what is cutting speed, and the things. So these are all very important for getting the surface finish. Maybe some other time, no, when we are having online classes, no, at that time I will just tell how this cutting speed, feed rate, and the depth of cut contribute to the surface finish. So they are all conditions, machining conditions. So accuracy, speed is very important, because no, many times no, people think in case of lathe, when the job is rotating faster, the surface finish will be good. You will be very surprised. I'll tell the reason. So sometime we will have a discussion. Lathe bits means tool bits. Tool should be good, and then only surface finish will be good. So this, because I am a specialist in that area, I will discuss. Sometime I will discuss. So this is how you draw the cause and effect diagram for bad surface finish. Surface flaw or bad surface finish. Flaw means defects. So many times bad effect means defects will come. The part is produced wrong size. Dimension is wrong size. So what are the reasons? So all the six are coming. Material means wrong specification of the material. Storage is very poor. Burnout material. So these are some of the subcauses. Material. That's why wrong size is produced. Measurement. Wrong size of the mold. This I think I was teaching casting. You know, there is a, when you want to make a casting, you convert the metal into molten metal, and then you pour them into the cavity. That is called mold. So that mold is wrong size means then naturally the product will be wrong size. So wrong size of the mold. Blueprint means drawing. Blueprint, there is a mistake. Production, there is a mistake. So then measurement will come. Measurement will be a problem. It is not going to, for example, 25 plus or minus 0.1 mm. It will not be 20. If there is a production mistake or drawing mistake or mold is not correct, you are not going to get the correct dimension. Mission. So mission is not functioning properly. Employee fault, and this when you are trying to become a trainee engineer, no, you will understand whether employee fault or mission malfunction. So many times the employee will blame the mission. Of course, mission cannot blame the mission, no, because many times you should know how to use the mission. So mission itself is old missions, there is a problem. Mission itself is defective. So method, procedure is wrong. Many times it's a problem. That is why very important. Initial stages, you should prepare the procedure properly. And then environment, production conditions are very hot, very cold, very humid. So these are all problems. So very high temperature also, machine will not work. After some time, it becomes heated up. All of them, they are having some electrical motor and other things. And then people, and here in this, when the wrong size means naturally they will be skilled. So what they are doing, employee mistake. So if the part is produced wrong size, instead of 25 mm, it is 26 mm. It is not a question of skill and other. Of course, skill, other things also will come into the picture. But of course, major causes, major subcauses, employee might have made a mistake. That's why wrong size it is produced. Or mistaken mission setting. So we have to make the setting. We have to give the setting. I think unfortunately your 19 PM students, you are not trained in. We have at least some missions for training. Even now we have additive manufacturing facilities also available. On the other side of not in academic block or academic, other side there is a separate building. So all these things, maybe when you come for the 7th semester, you can mistake in the production procedure. Okay. So then bad addresses. So this is the last example I will give. So when the addresses, this is courier. In case of courier, what are the various reasons for having bad addresses? So one is employee is inexperienced, no training. All employee means all these things will come. Lack of funding, training. No, funding is not available. Even our chancellor used to tell, teachers are good qualified, but they are not trained. The Indian government, no, many times, no, they are spending very less money for training. Even now, many students, they want to go for startup. Nobody knows how to train somebody for to make a, to start. Students know many times on their own. Then of course there are some colleges where startup, even VIT also we are having a division where they are trying to train you for to, when you want to become a startup. So all these things, employee reasons, tools, no, mostly this is abroad. I think this is from abroad. So technology, what are the problems? Character limits, format, all these problems. No, when you are storing address, no, these coming under tools, and then matches. So this is not from India. That's why it's a very just taken from thing. So data sources. So address data sources. We are giving bad addresses. Process. No reports, timeliness, integration. So it's not from our side. So just for you to think. So with this, I will stop for this class, this video. So we will see in the next video.